In 2025, we experienced some very high-level matchups, and I believe in 2026, we are going to see some of the best MMA, some of the best UFC fights we've ever seen with the new Paramount deal. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the highest-level matchup to make in every single division, starting with the flyweight division, ending with the heavyweight division. I'm going to go through every single division. Before we go ahead and get into the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get it started with the flyweight division. So at flyweight, the highest-level matchup I think the UFC can make in 2026, a matchup that makes so much sense. It makes more than so much sense. Tatsuro Taira versus Manel Kape in Japan. Doesn't even have to be in Japan, but it would be sick if this fight was in Japan. This is such high level skill between both men. Tatsuro Taira's got amazing grappling. He showed his jiu-jitsu game, his grappling game, his striking's come a long way. He's got a couple of knockouts. He just got a knockout against Brandon Moreno. And Manel Kape, do I even have to talk about Manel Kape? He just flatlined TKO'd Brandon Royval within a couple minutes, and Tatsuro Taira went to war with Brandon Royval. So Tatsuro Taira has to defend his spot. Obviously, he is the #1 contender, but there's Pantoja, there's the mix going on there. I think Pantoja should rematch, man, and I think we should have Tatsuro Taira versus Manel Kape in the meantime as a fight night main event in Japan. Tell me that is not peak. That is literally a peak matchup to make in the flyweight division. It is the highest level matchup you can make at flyweight at the moment, and I think we're going to see this in 2026. I really hope we do, but we're going to move on to the bantamweight division where we got one that's already happened twice. Merab versus Petr Yan 3. This is the highest level matchup to make a bantamweight, without a doubt. Without a doubt, Merab is the only guy who actually deserves an immediate rematch, is what Petr Yan said. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. This is going to be the trilogy is coming to fruition in 2026. This is a guaranteed lock of a fight that's already going to happen. And it's like the highest level bantamweight matchup you can make. I was tempted to put Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen on here, but I just have a gut feeling we're not even going to see it in 2026. But Merab versus Yan, we're definitely going to see. We are definitely going to see. It is a high level matchup. Their first fight was a bit of a ragdoll by Merab. It was a dominant performance. The rematch, though, where Yan wasn't injured, we saw a very competitive back and forth fight where Yan was able to use his defense to use his offense, to turn it into offense. He used his defense and turned it into offense. It was beautiful, but Merab was always there. He was always in Yan's face. He was still trying to come forward. So the rematch is inevitable. The trilogy is inevitable. It's going to be a banger of a fight. The trilogy is going to be so good. And honestly, I don't even know who I'm going to pick in the trilogy because I still think Merab's there. I don't think Merab's done after this fight, and I don't think he got destroyed by Petr Yan. It was still very competitive. It wasn't like Merab was out of gas and he was out of juice. He was still coming forward. He was just getting pieced up. He was the slower guy on the feet. So I'm excited for the trilogy. It's the highest level bantamweight matchup to make in 2026. We're going to move on, though, to the featherweight division. Lerone Murphy versus Volkanovski, I truly believe, is the highest level matchup to make at featherweight. People are going to doubt this, but I really think Lerone Murphy is the most technical, the most clean striker at featherweight at the moment. And then you pair him with Volkanovski, the GOAT of the featherweight division, who's got the most wins, has beat clean strikers like Max Holloway, Lopez, who's going to be rematching, who I think he beats again. He's beat so many high-level guys, Yair Rodriguez. He beat Brian Ortega. He's beat some of the best featherweights, right? And it's inevitable that this is the fight that you have to make. It sucks that Lerone got robbed of this title shot because this is what we should be watching in Perth in a couple weeks. It should be Lerone Murphy versus Volkanovski. Lerone's coming off of a nasty knockout on 3 weeks short notice against the opponent that Evloev was supposed to fight. He knocks him the fuck out. Lopez sits on his ass, fights Jean Silva, is losing the second round, and then finds a spinning back elbow and gets an immediate rematch not even a year after they first fought. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, UFC. It's obviously just glaze from the UFC, so it sucks that we've been robbed of this matchup, but I still think we can see this in 2026. Volk said he's not retiring. I do believe he's not going to retire unless he really gets flatline. If he gets flatline KO'd in Perth, he might retire. But I think he's going to stick around. I think he beats Lopez in the rematch. And then I think we're going to see Lerone Murphy versus Volkanovski late 2026. And this is a high-level striking matchup. And Volk's probably going to be the one mixing in the grappling. But this is very competitive, very close in my opinion, especially with Volk getting older. I think he's slowing down a little bit. And I think Lerone Murphy's going to be there to go tit for tat with Volk. And it's very technical, very high level in my opinion. So I want to see this matchup in 2026. I pray that UFC doesn't fucking boof this one. But we're going to move on to the lightweight division where I got a very high level matchup. Dude, the rematch between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. As much as I love Charles Oliveira, I do kind of want Max to win, to see this rematch. That's the only reason I want Max to win, is to be able to see Ilya versus Max too, because at lightweight, it's going to be a different story. It's going to be a different story. Even if I'm gaslighting myself to believe that, I do believe that it'll be different. It'll be a different outcome, because we saw Ilya and Max at 145. Max was drained. Look at Max Holloway here. He's skinny. He's drained here. I think Max at 155 against Ilya, when he had the most competitive fight out of everybody who's fought Ilya, he had the closest fight with Ilya. The closest fight with Ilya. Even Josh Emmett versus Ilya, even though Josh Emmett went the distance, that shit was not close. But Max Holloway brought it to the third round, was going tit for tat with Ilya Taporia, and was piecing him up. He was piecing him up at moments. The jabs, the stomps with his legs, the spinning back kicks. He was looking really, really clean. And Ilya did end up catching him, but Max was there for the majority of that fight. And as much as I hate to admit it, he survived longer than Volk and longer than Oliveira, I'm pretty sure, combined. So Max Holloway versus Ilya is the most competitive, the most high-level matchup I think you can make at lightweight. Obviously, Ilya's going through stuff with his family, but they need to make this matchup. This is a banger. This is a banger. This is a rematch that you're going from a rematch or a fight at 145 and then they're rematching at 155, kind of like how Max fought Oliveira at 145, and now they're rematching at 155. Fights like that is exciting. It's exciting, and it's been about a year and a bit since he fought Ilya, so make this matchup. This is a banger, and one of the highest level matchups you can make at lightweight in 2026. We move on to the welterweight division. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Morales. Michael Morales versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is such a fucking banger. This is such a banger, all right? And I know bangers, guys. And I know bangers. This is a banger. This is a banger, all right? This is the highest level matchup I think you can make at welterweight at the moment. When I'm looking at the guys that are highly ranked, when I'm looking at the guys that... There's so many matchups to make at welterweight. JDM versus Prates. Prates versus Morales. Morales versus JDM. Shavkat versus JDM. Shavkat versus Prates. There's so many high levels matchups to make all at the top there, especially since Islam's probably going to sit on his ass for a while and then fucking fight Kamaru Usman, who's ranked number 8. Disgusting. But Shavkat Rakhmonov has been out for a fat minute. He's undefeated. Michael Morales is technically undefeated. Topology kind of wants to fuck with him. They said he's 20 and 1. They're counting his amateur record, but I still think he's undefeated. 19-0 versus, 19-0 or 18-0? Super crazy numbers between the two of them. Super promotable fight as well. I'd love to see Prates versus Morales, but undefeated versus undefeated always sells. And this can be a 5-round fight night main event for the number 1 contender. It makes sense. It's a high-level matchup. You got a dangerous grappler and striker in Shavkat Rakhmonov, and then a really nasty striker in Michael Morales, who's going to be hitting all the fruity emotes and doing... And Shavkat's not going to want to touch him. He's not going to want to touch him. Morales is going to come out with the booty shorts. Shavkat's not going to want to fucking touch him. It's crazy that Morales is literally zestying his way to the fucking title shot. It's crazy, bro. It's tragic. But this is a high-level matchup at welterweight. Probably the highest level matchup at welterweight they can make right now. And we need to see Shavkat come back and fight somebody. So fight an undefeated prospect in Michael Morales. It's a banger. Let's move on to the middleweight division, where I got a fucking goof one. This one is the hype. When I made this fight, I started laughing to myself, man. Dricus du Plessis versus Brendan fucking Allen. High-level matchup middleweight, boys. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I could put, Khamzat Chimaev in these high-level matches, but fuck Khamzat Chimaev, okay? He's just going to smudge people. He's going to sleep on people. DDP is still one of the highest, most technical middleweights, all right? As goofy as he is, he's one of the most technical middleweights. And you also got Brendan Allen, who's got the IQ of a fucking jelly bean, but is such a good fighter. It's tragic. I was there in Vancouver. He's a great fighter. His IQ is just fucking horrendous, but he beat Rainer de Ritter and kind of dominated him in round 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4 until he got the TKO. And DDP's coming off that Khamzat Chimaev loss, but he hasn't lost to anybody else in the UFC. He's beat everybody else. This is such a good matchup to make. It's the matchup that makes sense at the moment. When you look at what there is, excuse me, at the top, I'm dying. It's the one to make. It's the one to make because DDP is coming off a loss. Brendan Allen's on a win now. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Make this fight, man. High-level match between the two of them. The grappling exchanges are going to be super fun. I think DDP can reverse positions. Brendan Allen can get him to the ground. The striking is going to be very interesting, I think. I think it's kind of going to be like Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. It's going to be very back and forth. But DDP's good. He's very, very good. Even though his striking looks a little goofy, he's very good. So I think this is a very high-level matchup to make at middleweight. The highest one to make in 2026. And I think this is the only matchup to make for these two guys in this new year. We're gonna move on to the light heavyweight division. Fucking banger up next, boys. Yuri Prochazka, let's go for that. I bring Big Storm. It was necessary. I bring Big Storm. Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg is such a banger. This is such a banger, and it is predicted to be for Miami UFC 327, the main event for the undisputed light heavyweight title. You know, I think Pereira's vacating, and these two are going to be fighting for that belt at UFC 327. It's predicted. It's not confirmed yet, but this is a banger fight. This is the highest level fight to make at light heavyweight this year. Yuri is such a beast. He is such a fucking beast. Every time you doubt Yuri, he comes out in that third round. He absolutely walks you down with no restraint, with no fear, and he just puts damage. He just puts belt to fucking ass in that third round. That's what he just did to Khalil Roundtree. It's what he did to Jamal Hill, and you love to see it. And he's fighting a guy in Carlos Ulberg who just fucking starts Dominic Reyes brutally. As Dominic Reyes was making his return on a 3-fight win streak, he gets starts by Carlos Ulberg in the first round, in the first 2 minutes. It was nasty. So this fight is a guaranteed finish, in my opinion. Guaranteed knockout. It's going to be a chess match back and forth. Carlos is much more technical than Yuri, but Yuri's always doubted, and he eats shots to give him back. He said, it was necessary. I had to feel his power, and I had to develop and give back Big Storm. You know, this is what Yuri does, bro. I'm done doubting Yuri. This is what Yuri does. Highest level matchup to make it light heavyweight, especially for the title. This is such a fucking good fight. I wish I could watch this live. If it is in Miami, maybe. You never know, but probably not. Let's be honest. Yuri versus Carlos Ulberg, the highest level matchup to make a light heavyweight this year. They better book it, and it better be for the light heavyweight title because Yuri's getting that fucking belt back. Fuck you, Carlos Ulberg. We're going to move on to the heavyweight division, the final matchup that I'm going to talk about in today's video. The highest level matchup at heavyweight is the rematch. It's the rematch versus Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. There's nothing technical and nothing high level at heavyweight besides this fight, okay? I'm looking at the fucking rankings. There's no other high level matches to make. You know, I can't really pretend like these blobs that are sliming people out and that are just going to slop fests are technical high-level matchups. This is the high-level matchup to make. Tom Aspinall is coming back. Angry Tom, evil Tom. He's angry. He's furious for getting eye-poked twice by Cyril Gahn. Cyril Gahn regrets it, and he was winning that fight, and he wanted to win that fight. So he's coming with some fire coming back. So as soon as they can book this fight in 2026, they are going to do it. It is the highest level matchup to make it heavyweight. Very back and forth. A chess matchup on the feet. We might see Tom Aspinall just die for a double leg at the beginning of round 1 in the rematch. But nonetheless, this is the best matchup to make at heavyweight. This is the most technical, the most high level matchup to make it at heavyweight. We need to see this rematch very soon. You've seen Aspinall. If you haven't seen Aspinall's wearing the glasses, he's like, he poked my eye, this fucker. He poked my... I can't even do an accent, boys. I can't do an accent, but... Dude, Tom Aspinall wants that back in blood. He wants that shit. So run this rematch in 2026, the most high-level heavyweight matchup. Those are all the matchups that we need to see in 2026. The most technical, high-level matchups in their respective weight classes. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you.